Hey, Sherry Dog. We got the mic ready for you. It's you.
It's just me.
Who said that?
Well, I just vote for that. You know I'm conservative, Luke.
What's going on here?
Chairman Joe Anderson presiding. God bless the United States, state of Tennessee, and Monroe County.
Chad, would you lead us in word of prayer, please?
Lord, thank you, Lord, for everything you've done for us, Lord. Just with this meeting, just pray we do what's best for the county, Lord, and best for upbuilding your kingdom, Lord. Just pray for ones that's got death in their family, Lord, just the tragic situations, Lord, that's going on. Be with us tonight as we have this meeting, in Jesus' name.
Commissioner Reynolds, would you do us the honor of pledge allegiance to us? Thank you.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Here.
Luke Wright,
Here.
Brian Harrell, Richard Kirkland,
Here.
Chad Lee,
Here.
Adam Riddle,
Present.
Bill Shannon,
Here.
Paulette Son,
Present.
Travis Thomas, Chris Rice,
Here.
8 present.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. You have the minutes before you for March 23rd, 2021. What is the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion we approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additions or questions? All in favor? Any nays? No nays? Motion carries. Thank you. You have before you the notary of public applications. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Is that Adam?
Yes.
Thank you. And
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Are there any nays? Motion carries. Thank you. Trustee monthly report. You have that before you. Is there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Any nays? No nays, motion carries. Thank you. We'll move to the Director of Finance monthly report. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who made that motion? Previous.
And second,
Chris, I'll second.
Adam Reynolds. Is there any discussion or questions? At this time, I'd like to invite Libby Hicks to present something to one of her staff members.
Thank you. Commissioners, if you remember a little bit over a year ago, the Comptroller of the State of Tennessee began having classes for employees and for them to become certified county finance officers. We had 2 in that class, and I want to recognize Courtney Byron tonight, and I want y'all to join me in congratulating her because Courtney had to do this twice. She had to do it as a municipal finance officer, and then the state wouldn't recognize her as being a county finance officer until she did it again. So she has done this twice. Courtney has been a great blessing to our staff. We're very fortunate to have her here. And Courtney, congratulations. This is her certification. Because you see, when we get these certifications, it's for the good of everybody. It's for the good of the citizens, it's for the good of the county government. So that's a great accomplishment. Thank you.
I got a little excited about that award, so we're going to have to back up and vote. Just before we vote, I just want to say this about Libby and Courtney and the whole financial office. Just for the public to know that they've saved this county hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in the work that they have done. And a round of applause to the finance department is a job well done this past year. We appreciate you. Now, back to what I said. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any nays? No nays, motion carries. You have the quarterly reports above you, with you, and we're going to approve these all at once. That is section 427.5 through section 427.25. Is there any objection to that?
So moved.
I have a question.
What?
I have a question on the wiki vote.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any questions on any of these?
Yeah, in the court, JV court here, I was looking at, it's got the bail bonds. Is this Luke's company, Bright's Bail Bonds, it's got a budget item here?
What are you talking about?
In one of these budget reports, it's got Bright's Bail Bonds. It's a budget item. Is that your company?
Well, Bryce Bell Bonds by company, but what's it doing today?
That's what I'm asking you. How is that a county thing?
I don't know.
It's part of the circuit court clerks.
Okay, so it's not a conflict for him to have it.
No, because it's,
No, if there'd have been a conflict, I wouldn't be here.
Okay, just fair enough. That's all I'm
Any more
the
discussion?
way that I
You wanna
understand
explain?
it, Mr. Wyman, the circuit court clerk's office does not have any say-so in who bonds these people out.
Right.
I did ask that question.
I just want everybody to see.
Any more discussion or questions? All in favor? Any nays? No nays, motion carries. We'll get to my other papers here. So we'll move to 427-26. Okay. So, Resolution 427-26, be it resolved by the Monroe County Board of Commissioners meeting in regular session, April 27, 2021, that the following amendment by the Monroe County Sheriff's Department be made in the Monroe County Sheriff's Department budget for the fiscal year 2020-21. And that's for $14,000.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
No.
Brian Harrell, Richard Kirkland, Chad Leeny, Adam Reynolds, Bill Shannon, Paulette Summey, Chris Weise.
Motion carries.
I am so sorry, but they've got to say their name when they make a motion. I had no idea who they are with these masks,
Okay. we'll do
and
that.
without them. Who made that one? Richard, and who seconded it? Chad? Okay, fine. Adam.
I should be doing that, but I can't hear their voices going that direction.
I know Paulette's, and I usually know Rogers, but I'm sorry, that's the only two I can hear.
All right, so we'll move to resolution 427-26A. A resolution to declare military vehicles and equipment as surplus property and place them for sale on Gov Deals. Whereas Monroe County has authority to declare items as surplus that no longer is deemed necessary or adequate to properly perform duties of the county government as prescribed by law, and whereas the Monroe County Sheriff's Department desires to declare as surplus property the attached list, Exhibit A, of vehicles and equipment, and whereas Sheriff Tommy Jones II requests approval to declare the attached list as surplus and place it for sale on Gov Deals. What is the pleasure of the board?
Motion. Kirkland.
Is there a second?
Reynolds.
Thank you. Any discussion? Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland, Chad Leeny, Adam Reynolds, Bill Shannon, Paulette Summey, Chris Weise.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 427-26B. A resolution to declare military equipment as surplus property and place them for sale on Gov Deals. Whereas the county has the authority to declare items as surplus that no longer is deemed necessary or adequately to properly perform the duties of county government as prescribed by law, and whereas the Monroe County Sheriff's Department desires to declare as surplus property an attached list, Exhibit A, of equipment, and whereas Sheriff Tommy Jones II requests approval to declare the attached list as surplus and place it for sale on Gov Deals. What is the,
So moved, Lemon.
who was that?
Lemming. Second.
Lemming, second.
Kirkland.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland, Chad Leeny,
Aye.
Adam Reynolds, Bill Shannon, Paulette Summey, Chris Weise.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution 427-26C. A resolution to declare seized vehicles as surplus property and place them for sale by the Monroe County Sheriff on Gov Deals. Whereas Monroe County has the authority to declare items as surplus that are confiscated by the Monroe County Sheriff's Department and are declared contraband by the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security in accordance with TCA 40-33-206C. And whereas the Monroe County Sheriff's Department desires to declare as surplus property attached on Exhibit A of 1 2003 Dodge Ram and 1 2009 Harley Davidson motorcycle, 1 2005 Acura ATL, and 1 2006 Chevrolet ML1. And whereas Sheriff Tommy Jones requests approval to declare the attached list of vehicles as stated in documentation from the Honorable Rachel L. Waterhouse, Administrative Judge, Administrative Procedures Division, Office of the Secretary of State, and Deborah M. Martin, CV, Appeals Division, Commissioner Designee of Tennessee Department of Safety. Whereas Sheriff Tommy Jones requests permission to sell these documented on government deals. I have a motion.
Motion.
I have a second.
Second, Reynolds.
Thank you. Is there any questions or discussion? We'll move to vote. Roll call, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland,
Aye.
Chad Leeny,
Aye.
Adam Reynolds,
Aye.
Bill Shad,
Aye.
Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Chris Weisman.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 427-26D. Be it resolved by the Monroe County Board of Commissioners meeting in regular session April 27, 2021, that the following amendment for the Monroe County Tourism Department to reflect the sale of inventory for the months of January, February, March 2021 be made in the Monroe County General Fund budget for the fiscal year 2021. What is the motion of the board?
So move, Lemming.
Second.
Is there any questions or discussion? We'll move to roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland,
Aye.
Chad Leeny,
Aye.
Adam Reynolds,
Aye.
Bill Shad,
Aye.
Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Chris Weisman.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 427-26E. A resolution to grant approval for Monroe County Sheriff's Office and the Monroe County Court System to submit an application to the State of Tennessee Office of Criminal Justice Programs for the Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Funding of the CFDA 16.034. Whereas the Monroe County government requests permission to submit an application to the State of Tennessee Local Office of Criminal Justice Programs for Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Funding of the CFDA 16.034, and whereas in order to assist with the funding in conducting hearings using a closed circuit television system, and whereas the Monroe County Sheriff and Circuit Court Clerk will follow proper procedures for the application of this grant in a total of $100,000, which will not require a match in funding. And whereas Monroe County meets all qualifications to participate in this grant to assist with the purchase of a closed-circuit television system to lessen the impact of COVID-19 on the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and the Monroe County Court System. What is the pleasure of the board?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second, Lemming.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland,
Aye.
Chad Leeny,
Aye.
Adam Reynolds,
Aye.
Bill Shad,
Aye.
Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Chris Weisman.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 427-26F. A resolution to grant approval from Monroe County Sheriff's Department to submit an application to the State of Tennessee Office of Criminal Justice Programs, Department of Finance, and the Administration for payment to provide humane transport for mental health patients. Whereas the Monroe County Sheriff's Department, through the Monroe County government, requests permission to submit an application to the State of Tennessee Office of Criminal Justice Programs, Department of Finance, and Administration for payment to provide humane transport for mental health patients to the required facility. And whereas this grant will fund 100% of the cost of the service, whether provided by the Sheriff's Office or a subcontractor, and whereas the Monroe County Sheriff will follow proper procedures for this application in the total amount of $40,000. which will not require a match from the Monroe County Sheriff's Department budget for the fiscal year 2021. And whereas Monroe County meets all qualifications to participate in this grant to enter into the service providing transportation of mental health patients to a required facility that have been incarcerated by Monroe County Sheriff's Department. What is the pleasure of the board?
So moved, Lemon.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Brian Harrell, Richard Kirkland, Chad Leeny, Adam Reynolds, Bill Shedd, Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Chris Weise.
Motion carries. Thank you. Be it resolved by the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, Resolution 427-26G. Be it resolved by the Monroe County Board of Commissioners meeting in regular session April 27, 2021, that the following donation from Plantation calendars be made in the Monroe County Sheriff's Department budget for fiscal year 2021. What is the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second, Chris.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland, Chad Leeny, Adam Reynolds, Bill Shedd, Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Chris Weise.
The motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 427-26H. A resolution to grant approval for the Monroe County Emergency Management Agency to submit an application to the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency for a SHSP grant for radio communication equipment. Whereas the Monroe County Emergency Management Agency, through the Monroe County government, requests permission to submit an application to the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency for the SHSP grant to purchase radio equipment, radio communication equipment, and whereas the Monroe County EMA Director will follow proper procedures for this application, which will fund 100% of the cost of the purchased radio communication equipment not to exceed $17,850. And whereas Monroe County meets all qualifications to participate in this grant to better provide public safety to its citizens and visitors by reducing and enhancing the communication abilities of the emergency responders.
Motion.
Second, Lemon.
Thank you. Any discussion? Question? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland, Chad Leeny, Adam Reynolds, Bill Shedd, Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Chris Weise.
Motion carries. You have before you the Monroe County Board of Education budget amendments. What is the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second, Chad.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland, Chad Leeny, Adam Reynolds, Bill Shedd, Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Chris Weise.
Motion carries. Excuse me. Resolution 427-28. A resolution of the Monroe County Commission confirming the appointment of J. Reed Dixon as Monroe County Attorney. Whereas the Tennessee Code annotated 5-6-107 provides in an pertinent part as follows. Powers and duties generally, except as otherwise provided by general law or special private contract, the county mayor shall appoint members of the county boards and commissions and county department heads. Such appointees shall be subject to confirmation by the county legislative body. And in doing so, the legislative body may express its views fully and freely and shall vote for or against the confirmation. The legislative body shall not seek or interview such prospective employees prior to their employment by the county mayor. Such an appointment and confirmation are not applicable to the employees appointed to the other elected county officials. Whereas the county mayor has recently undertaken to appoint J. Reed Dixon as Monroe County Attorney, and whereas the Monroe County Commission desires to confirm the appointment of J. Reed Dixon as the Monroe County Attorney. Now therefore be it resolved by the Monroe County Commission acting in regular session on this 27th day of April 2021 that the appointment of J. Reed Dixon as the Monroe County Attorney be and in hereby is confirmed in compliance with the TCA 5-6-107C.
So moved, Bryant.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland,
No.
Chad Leeny,
Aye.
Adam Reynolds,
Aye.
Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Bill Shannon,
Aye.
Chris Weisman.
No.
Six ayes, 2 nays.
Motion carries. Motion carries. Congratulations to Mr. Dixon. Lena, I'm glad you're here with us tonight. Please convey that to Reed. Thank you. Oh, Reed, I didn't see you. You're right, I'm looking over at Lena. I saw Lena. And I was like, where? Thank you, Reed.
Because I lost my plate.
Thank you, Reed. Appreciate it. That's been a night. All right. Resolution 427-29. Resolution to authorize the repayment of funds used to purchase property at a tax sale on February 13, 2020, located on Watson Trace, Madisonville, Monroe County, Tennessee. Whereas the control map 091J, Group A, partial 016.01, District 3, was conveyed to Tommy Rayburn, now deceased, and his surviving spouse. Barbara Rayburn on and about February 13, 2020 for the purchase price of $1,248. After the payment of the purchase price, purchasers discovered there was no access to the land. Purchaser has no use of the property without access. That no deed of transfer has, and whereas no deed has been transferred or executed. Whereas the purchaser requested the sale be canceled and the purchase price refunded. And whereas it is deemed to be in the best interest of the county that the sale be canceled and the property placed on the delinquent tax list and sold at a date to be determined by the county. Now therefore be resolved by the Monroe County Commission meeting in regular session on the 27th day of April 2021 that it hereby authorizes the Director of Finance to repay to the purchaser the purchase price paid of $1,248. What is the pleasure of the board?
I make the motion on the fact that Marshall Raper has requested we do this because it's a landlocked piece of property.
Is there a second?
Bryant, second.
Discussion? Questions?
I guess the question would be, if it was done in February of 2020, in almost a year. And a few months later, it's just now coming before this board. And for future reference, would we not be setting a precedence for anybody that comes before this board for the same issue? That would be my concern.
I
This
think
is a landlocked piece of property.
this property, if I'm not mistaken, has been sold several times by the county in a tax sale, is that
Goes
correct?
back 40 years.
And they bought it as is without doing their due diligence to find out if the property was landlocked or not, correct? And I think they even went to court to ask Chancery Court, and they denied him money back. So if we open this can, we're gonna have a lot of people coming back wanting their tax money back, but for tax sale.
Wouldn't you think it would have to be a landlocked piece of property such as this?
Question is, can you sell a piece of property legally with no access?
State of Tennessee is a non-landlocked state, and they have the right to go to court and request right away from anybody.
If you're asking me, yes, that is correct. The owner of the property that's landlocked can sue in court for an access. They would have to pay for the access, it's not free access. They can ask for a private condemnation over adjoining land for their.
Okay. Is there any more discussion or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland,
No.
Chad Leeny,
No.
Bill Shannon, Paulette Sonny,
Aye.
Chris Weisman.
No, you skipped that.
Okay, 5-3.
I vote no as well.
Sorry.
Reynolds,
Oh, I didn't call you, I'm sorry.
I'll register my vote as no.
You voted no?
Vote no.
Okay, we still think.
Motion fails. We'll move to, Resolution 42730. This is quite lengthy, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I may have to maybe, rephrase it, just to make it only simple, layman's terms, and to explain it to the board after I read this. Resolution 427-30. A resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation refunding bonds of Monroe County, Tennessee, in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $10 million in one or more series, making the provision for the issuance of sale and payment of said bonds, establishing the terms thereof and the disposition of the proceeds therefrom, and providing for the levy of taxes for the payment of the principal, premium, if any, and interest on the bonds. Whereas 9-21-101 is inclusive, Tennessee Code annotated as amended authorizes Monroe County, Tennessee, the county, by resolution of the Board of County Commissioners to issue and sell bonds to refund and refinance outstanding bonds. And whereas the county has previously issued and has outstanding its general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2015, dated November 24th, 2015, maturing June 1st, 2025 through June 1st through 2035, and the general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2016, dated September 14, 2016, maturing June 1st, 2025 through June 1st of 2031. Collectively, the outstanding bonds, and whereas all the portion of the outstanding bonds can now be refunded for the purpose of reducing the debt service requirements of the county. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners hereby determines that it is advisable to issue a general obligations bond in one or more series for the purpose of refunding all or a portion of the outstanding bonds. And whereas a plan of refunding the outstanding bond has been filed with the Director of Division of the Local Government Finance, the State Director, as required by Section 921-903 Tennessee Code annotated, as amended, and the State Director has submitted the county the report thereon, and a copy of which has been made available to the members of the Board of the County Commissioners. And whereas it is the intention of the Board of the County Commissioners of the county to adopt this resolution for the purpose of authorizing not to exceed $10 million in the aggregate principal amount of the bonds for the above described purposes, providing for the issuance of sale and payment of said bonds, establishing the terms thereof and the disposition and proceeds therefrom, and providing for the levy of a tax for the payment of the principals thereof, premium, if any, and interest thereon. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Monroe County, Tennessee, as follows.
Make a motion to approve.
Now, hopefully all of y'all read the rest of the 7, or well, there's about 13 pages here.
Yes.
13 pages of documents. Is there a second?
Second, Reynolds.
All right, discussion. Ms. Hicks, would you like to describe just real in short what this does?
Basically, we're refinancing a loan to, it's the same terms, the same length of time, but at a lower interest rate, and it saves the county money by doing that. The refinancing cost will come out of the fund balance of the debt fund, but the savings will be substantial enough to cover that and still save the county tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions?
Is this the one we done in January or December, or is this a different one?
I'm sorry,
Is this the one that we decided to refinance in
it was the
January?
last one
Yeah.
that we're refinancing, yes. We had one earlier that is that money that we refinanced a portion of it, and then this one is on a fixed rate.
Any more questions or discussion?
This one's on the fixed rate, right?
It is, yes, it is.
We'll move to roll call vote, please.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirk, Chad Leeny, Adam Reynolds, Bill Shedd, Paulette Summey,
Aye.
Chris Weis.
Aye.
I have one more order of business. We have a position on the Board of Education that is to be replaced. What I'm going to ask the county commission tonight is, what day do you want the applications to be cut off? So that it can be posted prior to the next meeting.
The 1st of May, and then have the vote in May, the end of May. What is the soonest you can do it and be legal? 5 days? Angie?
I can get it in the paper. If you tell me what you want the cutoff, but, Lord, I'm not supposed to talk, but we've got our attorney here. Now, we already had a motion to do it in the June regular meeting last time. So y'all will have to rescind that, won't they, Reed?
They want to change the dates, you got to rescind that.
Yeah.
I don't think you.
I don't think there's gonna be.
No, I'm just asking the question to make sure when the cutoff.
So you want me to put it in the paper, the last day to take applications is May 1st? Right?
What was the agreed upon?
I don't remember, I was here, Mr. Third and Shelton did vote, put it in the May, meeting to replace the board member. I don't remember that was been dated for application.
It was voted to do it in June, at the June regular session. We had a motion, a second, and they voted on it
For June.
for June,
To vote to approve the replacement.
to approve for the replacement in June, so that's why I just want y'all to tell me, I need instruction when to put it, when you want the cutoff in the applications to be, so you want it May 1st?
As soon as possible, and then have the vote change the vote to the month of May, the May meeting.
Just the chairman, May 1st is Saturday, so today's Tuesday, May 1st is Saturday. This week.
Yeah, so it'd be the 3rd.
May 3rd, okay.
So with that,
5 days, Angela? Today's the 27th.
Fresh meeting, can we change it since we done voted on it, or?
we'll have to rescind it.
Yeah, you have to rescind that motion if you want to move it up. I don't know if that's the discussion or the deadline for the application. And we've had no more submissions since the last ones I passed on to you all, so.
Well, my motion will be that we rescind the previous one and move the voting to be in the May meeting instead, in opposed to June.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who is the second?
Fleming.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Man,
Just one nay. Motion carries. So the election of the board, for the second district of education,
Will be at the May regular meeting.
yes.
Okay, who was the second,
Fleming.
and who was the nay?
wise.
Wiseman.
Okay,
Now, did that answer your question, what brought all this up?
You still need to determine that deadline.
You actually voted to rescind the other motion, now you need a motion to vote on in May.
Yeah. Yeah. I would give. I've had too many meetings. Okay, now I need a motion,
I so moved.
I need a motion to move it to the May regular meeting. And I'll let, is there a second?
Second, Brian.
Let's do a roll call vote on this.
Now, then on the ones that have the May meeting?
Yes.
Did vote on May.
We're gonna move it to the May regular meeting, scheduled meeting.
Bill Anderson,
Aye.
Luke Wright,
Aye.
Richard Kirkland, Chad Leeny,
Aye.
Adam Reynolds, Bill Shannon, Paulette Summers,
Aye.
Chris Weisman.
Abstain.
All right, motion carries. Now back to the discussion of when we want to close the applications.
I don't think that was ever posted. It was just discussion where we asked the mayor if he got them to forward them to us. I don't think we ever had. Actually, if you look back at the minutes, there's nothing in there, so I guess we could establish one right now
Okay.
as a cutoff point.
Does anybody have a suggested date?
I would do it 2 weeks prior. to
oh, I
the
thought
meeting.
it was May 3rd, change that.
Pam?
Yeah, I would do 2 weeks prior to our commission meeting.
Okay, so is this motion about May 3rd, is it over with now?
May
She
3rd.
just wished to have it.
You're right.
Yeah, so y'all gonna
To
change all that?
amend that motion to put it 2 weeks prior to the commission meeting.
Okay, wait a minute.
Well,
Lord.
she needs to put it in the paper as soon as possible.
She can do that, she just,
Yeah, and whatever date you feel will be good. We just need to
right.
fill that position.
Richard, can I suggest since deadline for county commission packets the
15th,
15th?
that's, yeah,
Put it on
that's
the
the close,
15th.
yes, sir. 15th's good,
Make it 15?
yeah,
Now,
submission.
do they need another motion, Joe? To change it, cause Paulette made that motion, and to change it to May, and it was seconded, and y'all voted on it. So we need to change that first one to a different date, or?
I think we only voted on having it the May meeting.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
voted on.
We only
I
did,
asked Joe, I said, is that for the May meeting?
Oh, but
So we
they
didn't
told
vote
me
on
May 3rd, but change May 3rd to May 15th, okay.
Well, I I think the important thing is to give the people notice.
Right, so May 15th is.
Okay, cut off for that.
Yeah, May
All right,
15th will
I'll
be
put
the
it
cutoff
in the
date for the applications.
All right,
And you can post that
yeah,
prior to the meetings.
okay.
All in favor?
I
Nays.
Motion second on that? Motion to adjourn.
We had made, I made a motion.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.